Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, and scream! Welcome to Deep Thoughts While Gaming. I'm Chris Chappell. Horror isn't just a genre of home movies anymore. The fear of the unknown and our inability to grapple with it, the heart of the horror genre, stares us in the face every time we open our wallets or turn on the news. Between the economy doing some kind of puppet show, the government targeting your pets, YouTube slowly disappearing your favorite creators, and the realization you can't compete in a job market full of AI, daily life is full of its own existential horror. So do you really need any more horror in your life? And yet I find myself pulled back into the nightmarish world of Amnesia in the 2023 sequel, The Bunker. Because horror games, ironically, are the perfect vehicle for calming our minds and strengthening our practice. Feel the blood flow from your heart chakra. The tears welling up behind your eyes only signal that you aren't in control. Accept that which you can't control. Pick up the controller and return to your breathing. The jump scares aren't real. It's just your mind playing tricks on you again, as is often the case with many of the stressors of life. Today, we find our center and press on. Amnesia: The Bunker is a survival horror game set during World War I, where players take on the role of Henry, a soldier trapped in an abandoned bunker with a new breed of schnauzer created by the military. However, it isn't potty trained or good with strangers, and your limited fuel reserves will have you running away from it in the dark much more often than you'd like. The game blends the traditional Amnesia gameplay of running away from ugly things with new mechanics such as a more open world structure that'll have you exploring outward from a central safe space, and a monster taken straight out of Alien Isolation with noticeably worse AI. The game also comes with an inventory system that allows players to use a flashlight, weapons, and various tools. Although the weapons are more for show, as they buy you time, but don't do much more than annoy the monster. The flashlight is loud and attracts the darn thing. The monster itself is constantly roaming the map, making stealth and resource management crucial to survival. Amnesia: The Bunker metamorphizes the horrors of war, mental strain, and the fear of the unknown. The bunker setting symbolizes isolation and the madness of the soldiers' experience during wartime. The creature represents the manifestation of trauma and fear that haunts Henry as he grapples with his own psychological turmoil, making it a reflection of the emotional and physical scars left by war. The twist of who the monster ends up being only reinforcing the metaphorical nature of this game as a descent into Henry's fractured psyche. But while things aren't going great for Henry, they're going great for you, because horror games are the ultimate form of yoga. Yoga, often falsely characterized in the modern context as another kind of Pilates, is originally a spiritual practice that focuses on breathing through a series of challenging poses to attain greater awareness of the present moment. Our ability to stay calm and keep a level head no matter what the horror is facing you, whether it's this ungodly monster or navigating the future as AI takes our jobs, algorithms decide our feeds, corporations tell us what we need to be happy, and monsters roam the unexplored depths of our minds. But learning yogic philosophy sounds complicated. Your dopamine is low and the vape store is closed for the night. You've doom scrolled to the end of YouTube and watched every video about how the American dream died. Stay calm, dear viewer. Return to your breathing. And remember the importance of finding your zen, even when the world around you tests your patience. It could just be what keeps you alive. The truth is, when stress comes for us, many of us just aren't good at managing it. Think about the concept of sthira and sukha, stability and ease, as outlined in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, the go-to source for yogic wisdom in the modern day. Even when surrounded by darkness and uncertainty, finding the balance between effort and surrender becomes essential. In Amnesia: The Bunker, panic is your greatest enemy. The monster isn't just a creature, it's your own spiraling thoughts, the what-ifs and the worst-case scenarios that stalk you in the dark. Running blindly or flailing your flashlight only draws it closer, but stopping, centering yourself, and moving with quiet intention can keep you alive. This mirrors how we navigate real-life stress. Take the yogic principle of pratyahara, withdrawing from sensory overload to focus inward. When the world feels like it's crumbling, news cycles, financial instability, and constant notifications vying for your attention, retreating into the present moment becomes an act of survival. In the bunker, as in life, the key isn't to block out fear entirely, but to acknowledge it without letting it control you. Bruce Lee once said, "Be like water." When trapped, his response wasn't to fight the walls, but to sit still and conserve his energy, seeing it as his best course of action. That's the essence of the yogic mindset, not forcing outcomes, but flowing with circumstances. In the bunker, hoarding items or rushing to solve every problem immediately often leads to disaster. Just as in life, clinging to rigid plans or presupposed outcomes in the face of uncertainty can blind us to creative solutions. Yoga teaches us that sometimes the best option isn't action, it's acceptance. Not resignation, but a deliberate, calm acknowledgement of where you are and what you can do next. Whether you're crouched in a virtual bunker or staring down the anxieties of daily life, the breath is your anchor. Each inhale reminds you that you are alive. Each exhale releases tension. In both yoga and survival horror, progress is made moment by moment, breath by breath. The monster might still be out there, but how you respond determines whether you thrive or fall apart. The jump scares may happen, the creepy music may crescendo, but falling apart due to these sensations is up to you. Playing a horror game like Amnesia is, oddly enough, a form of mindfulness training. Mindfulness is all about staying present, acknowledging fear and discomfort without judgment, and moving through it with intention. What is creeping through a virtual bunker with only a dim flashlight that's louder than a home generator, if not a meditation in staying calm under pressure? In a yearly poll by the American Psychiatric Association, anxiety has continued to rise over the last 10 years. Stress negatively impacts the mental health of more than 50% of people surveyed. Our mental health institutions failed us. Our media exacerbated the problem, and now we're left shaking in our boots at even the slightest breeze. But horror games often a strange, paradoxical antidote. When you play a game like Amnesia, The Bunker, you're immersing yourself in fear, but in a safe and controlled environment. You're forced to slow down, breathe, and focus on what's immediately in front of you. You're not scrolling through endless news feeds or spiraling in your thoughts. You're here, now, grappling with the unknown, one moment at a time. And that's where yoga comes in. Yoga isn't just about flowing through poses or finding your balance. It's about learning to face discomfort, whether it's holding a challenging pose or confronting a shadowy corridor in a game. Both teach us to breathe through the fear, to ground ourselves when the world feels unsteady. The horrors of our daily lives don't have to overwhelm us. Breathe in, breathe out, and walk into the fire with love. Namaste. Thank you for watching Deep Thoughts While Gaming. And remember, it's all in your head. Breathe in, breathe out, and flush.